idolized my brother Matt. Whatever he would do, I would do. Whatever he would say, I would say. I love my brother Matt. Then something happened just about ruined all that. It was Grafton Bethel Elementary School, first grade. They were going to take my brother Matt away from me. I had known him my entire life. I didn't like this at all. But something happened this summer before he went to first grade. It made everything okay. That summer, my little sister Wendy was born. If you're a little kid and you want to have some fun, there's nothing more fun on this earth than a tired, cranky young mother with a new baby. That's all the fun you could ever want. One of my favorite games was just called Go Wake Wendy. It was so easy. She'd finally get Wendy down for an afternoon nap, and I'd sneak in there, and I'd steal her blanket or steal her bottle. She'd wake up crying. My mom would come in yelling and screaming. By the time she got Wendy back to sleep again, she forgot all about me. I could play Go Wake Wendy several times a day. Now, that whole school year, my mom had this one phrase. She said all school year, she says, I don't know how yet, but you're going to school next year. And I would just smile because I knew I wasn't. I understood the school system in York County, Virginia. Back then, if you were born before September 30th, you were going to school. If you're born after September 30th, I was born in November, I didn't just have one whole year to stay home and annoy my mother. I had 2 whole years to stay home and annoy my mother. Now, finally, though the school year did end, my brother Matt got off the school bus. First thing he did was take off his shoes. We rarely wore shoes back then. You would run all summer long, get that big, thick callus on the bottom of your feet. You come home, there'd be briars and holly stickers in there. You just yank them out and keep on going. That's how summer was. Now, something happened that school year I hadn't counted on. My brother Matt began idolizing somebody else. On that school bus was a kid, lived down the street. His name was Tommy Gaines. Tommy Gaines, he was 13 years old. He was a teenager, and he was so cool. Whatever he would do, my brother would do. Whatever he would say, my brother would say. And I just sort of follow along after that. And this is how cool Tommy was. Tommy promised that summer he was going to build us a tree fort behind my dad's garage. Big old oak tree. He was going to build us a tree house up there, and he started to work on it, and we loved to stand out there and just watch Tommy work. It was the best thing in the world. And this was so okay with our mom, because my mom, she's back at the house. She's taking care of Wendy. Wendy is now 1 year old, learning to walk and saying her first word. My parents were so proud. Wendy's first word was a 2-syllable word, Purdy. Everything she saw was Purdy. Me and my brother made a game of it. We used to bring her things just to get her to call them Purdy. There were things the dog did, Purdy. We liked that game a whole lot. But now, we're standing out under the tree watching Tommy work. My brother's right here, and we're watching, and my brother said, look at that, Tommy's got the saw, man, Tommy's sawing. I'd say, Tommy's sawing, man. My brother said, look at that, Tommy's got the hammer, Tommy's hammering, man. I'd say, Tommy's hammering, man. My brother said, look, Tommy's got the axe. I said, Tommy's got the axe. My brother said, Tommy, drop the axe. Before I could say the words, Tommy, drop the axe, that axe, right in front of my face, ka-chunk in this left foot. Square hit. I started running down the path. I was screaming. Blood was spurting everywhere, and that foot was just flopping. It was flopping like crazy. And Tommy, Mr. Cool, Mr. Teenager, he was down from that tree in seconds, running behind me. So scared, all he could think to say was, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. All I could think to say back was, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, all the way down the path. Hate you, sorry. We come running up in the yard. My mom comes out. She's got my little sister, Wendy. She sets Wendy down in the grass, and she sees my foot. Now, my mom is what we in the South call excitable. She saw my foot, and she began doing circles in the yard. Ray, just calling for my dad. Ray. Again, Tommy's still going. Hit you, sorry, Ray. My little sister sees the blood on the grass. Purdy. Ray, Purdy. Hit you, sorry. Finally, my dad, he hears the commotion, he comes out. As soon as his right foot hit that back step, come on. The whole yard got quiet. It was the neatest thing. We're standing there looking at my dad. Actually, I was looking for Tommy to get in one more hate you. Tommy was gone. But my dad, he looks at my foot, and he walks back in the house. Now we're all just standing there like, what in the world? Comes back out. He has one of my sister's clean cloth diapers. Back before Pampers and disposables and those things. Ties up my foot, puts me in the back of our old station wagon. He says, Matt, take your sister down to your grandma's. We're going to the hospital. Now back then, from our house in York County, Virginia, to the hospital in Newport News, back then there was one stoplight. Nowadays there's close to 20. But we're in the car, we're heading down that road, and I thought my mom was so cool. Because my mom, she was in the passenger seat, and she's front seat, and she has her head up against the window. She was kind of like our own personal ambulance. She was going, my baby, my baby, my baby. And we're heading through there, and I was on the back seat, and I was just yelling. And to be honest, it didn't hurt that bad. I just felt I had earned the right to yell. So I was yelling, my mom was yelling. We're heading through there. Now, that one stoplight was in the corner of, you don't need to know, but Jefferson Avenue and Route 17. There's a Casey Chevrolet dealership that was there. It's still there today. They have this gigantic American flag. They always fly up in front of that car dealership. It's still there today. Well, it's not the same flag, right? But they showed that there's this gigantic American flag out there. And so I could tell just by the veins on the back of my dad's neck, we didn't make that one stoplight. He has to slam on brakes. And my dad had reached his dad had enough point. He turned and he looked at my mom. He said, woman, that's enough. I don't know how she did it, but she got quiet right there. And I do believe that is a quiet that he paid for the rest of his life. She did get quiet right there. And my daddy turned around and looked at me and looked at my foot. He looked back at me. He said, son, there's still a half mile to this hospital. I don't think you want to walk it. And I remember, there's some days as little kids that are so clear to you, and this was one. I remember laying in that back seat of that car, looking out through that window at that gigantic American flag. That was the place I stopped crying. But we went out to the hospital, and my foot, it really confused the doctors quite a bit. Because in your foot, there's not one foot bone connected to an ankle bone. Not like the song says at all. There's a bunch of little bones in there called tarsals and metatarsals, and they've sort of become separated, and the doctors were actually arguing about how to get my foot to grow back right. And one doctor was like, well, we got to use splints. Tight splints on this boy, change them every single day. You can't put splints on this boy. You got to use a tight bandage every single day. You can't put a bandage on those stitches. What's wrong with you? He needs a cast. This boy's got, you can't put a cast on stitches. What's wrong? They're just going back and forth. And finally, this one little short man, a little country doctor, he examines my foot and he says, now I'll tell you what you need. It's got to be thin and tight through here, lots of arch support, and the heel has to be higher than the rest of the shoe. The shoe? He says, this boy needs a pair of ladies' high-heeled shoes. The very next day, we were back in the car, going to Sears and Roebuck to buy my first pair of high-heeled shoes. I spent the rest of the summer walking around in high-heeled shoes, because you had to wear both of them or it wouldn't work right. I got pretty good at walking around in high-heeled shoes. And my mom, she kept a promise. You see, I think maybe because of this incident, she went down to my grandparents, borrowed the money to put me in private school for first grade. I was going to school that year. I still remember that first day of school because they had a little van that would come through the neighborhood and pick you up. Standing out there first day of school, end of our driveway, I had my clip-on bow tie, my Fess Parker as Daniel Boone lunchbox, and my high-heel shoes. That's how I started first grade.